I just got done watching the White House news press, the news briefing. Kayleigh, the White House spokesperson, did a wonderful job. But you can't help but wonder if the news outlets there asking the questions, although they're from various news outlet organizations, before they enter the room conspire. Hey, let's all ask about the Confederate flag. Hey, let's all ask about Corona, because nothing else was brought up. Pretty much nothing else was brought up. Nothing about the amount of deaths, the uprising in various Democrat-run states, about the uptick in violence and deaths over the July 4th weekend. For many of us, it was an extended weekend. Those of us who work, that is, were fortunate to have a job. Not one question, and I got to thinking, all these questions are geared to make or attempt to make Trump look bad. If they would have gone into the uptick of crime questions, that would have made Trump look good. That would have confirmed that Trump was right all along about defunding the police is bad and how the Democrat-run states and black-run states are failing. So they stick with questions that are I gotcha questions. One question pertaining to the Confederate flag that kept coming up, and I need to address this. I'm going to start off by saying this. A gun is a gun. It's just a tool. It's only a bad thing when its use is intended for something bad. It's just a tool. It does not walk away. There's many times I've accidentally left my safe open and I'm looking at the doorway and none of my guns or rifles walk out on their own and go commit havoc in the middle of the night and sneak back in. They don't do that. It's just an inanimate object. What was his name? Bubba Wallace. I think he handled it 100% wrong intentionally. Yes, everybody's supporting him. Oh, he never saw the news. Yet he was seen crying. What a weak man. I'm sure it was just for the cameras, though. He was seen crying. Remember that one scene? He was hanging out his window with his head, and he's just crying, looking up at the cameras. The fact of the matter is, let's start out with Bubba Wallace's car. It has been wrapped with the large emblem, hashtag Black Lives Matter. He believes in their cause, and their cause must believe in racism. It must believe in racism, because without racism, there is no warrant, there is no reason for their existence. Very much like the Al Sharptons and the Jesse Jacksons. Without racism, they don't get paid. He's had this car wrapped with the Black Lives Matter logo on his rear quarter fender. It's got to be, I think, from looking at it, it looks like a foot tall and about 4 or 5 feet long. Black Lives Matter. And he's had that car wrapped in that emblem for quite some time. Before the George Floyd murder. He was told that there was a noose. And he played it up. He claims he never saw it. Like he's never been in his own garage before that day. Never been in that garage before. And all of a sudden, months after working in that garage, months after being there, let's not forget all the practices and whatnot. And I do realize they do circuit around from course to course. He's never seen this. He's never seen it in any other racetrack garage before. It took somebody working in the garage not to report it to the FBI or to the police, but to report it to him. Then he gets all the glory by calling the police and the news media outlets. Matter of fact, I think he called the news media outlets first. That was what was most important, was the publicity, not the fact that I need to call the police first. He handled it wrong. Even he, in his own little passive-aggressive way, was screaming racism. White people are all racism. And that's what he was hoping to convey to the American people through the news media outlets. The FBI came in where he really handled it wrong, and where not wrong. This was a decisive decision on his part. He wanted this to be true. And proof in the pudding is FBI came. Something like 15 officers came. Determined that this was not a hate crime. They left. He could have easily gone to the same media outlets and said, hey, I was wrong. This was just a rope to pull down, open and close the garage doors. As a matter of fact, it was on most of the other garages in the facility. I was wrong. Please, people, I didn't mean to cause any trouble. Calm down. My bad. No, he kept quiet. He did a couple little interviews after the fact, saying that the FBI were wrong in his own passive-aggressive way. He didn't really come out and say FBI was wrong. And he just didn't put the country at ease. And everybody's applauding him as a hero. I don't see him as a hero. I see him as somebody who is trying to perpetrate the rumor that all white people are racist. He is guilty of it. And that is the tool of a true racist, and that is the exact true tool of Black Lives Matter. I said in the beginning, a gun is just an inanimate object. It's a tool. And what it's being used for at a particular moment, at that moment, determines what it's intended for, determines whether or not it is bad at that time. A gun cannot be bad any more so than this cell phone. But if I hit you over the head with this cell phone, then yes, it's bad. Since when did a noose become racist? Just an existence of a noose. And by the way, this was not a working noose. A working noose is a sliding, has an action where it slides up and down the noose. You got the rope pulling, and then the noose tightens as it's pulled upon. They said this was not that type of noose. Regardless, since when now the act of tying a rope in the shape of a noose become racist all itself? Do nautical people not use nooses from time to time? Do farmers not use nooses from time to time? I don't know. I thought the lasso had a noose type of knot on it. Again, it goes back. What was it intended for? What is what makes it bad? What next? We got to change the name of Yankee Stadium in the Yankees? What about the White Sox? You're commemorating white people. Why don't we have a black socks? Again, Bubba Wallace handled it incorrectly on purpose. And that's my story, and I'm sticking to it.